Folks, today you are going to learn why these two little rounds are going to cost you thousands or millions of dollars in the future. So let's jump into it.
Drop the weapon, drop it!
So today you are going to learn why these two little rounds are going to cost you thousands or millions of dollars in the future. But let's get this out of the way really quick because I never know when I have new viewers to this channel. I am a 20-year police veteran, plus I have also unfortunately been forced into a self-defense police action shooting myself. So the information that I am giving to you today is from real life experience. So to help explain how these two little rounds will end up costing you thousands or millions of dollars in the future, let me use a little scenario so that it will help explain it and everything will come together for you. So let's use this fictional character named Robert. So Robert is a hard-working family man, and so it's the weekend and he wants to get his hair cut so he looks nice for his family and also for his job. So Robert decides to visit a barber shop at a local strip mall to get his hair cut. So Robert parks his car in the parking lot, and as he's walking from his car up to the strip mall building itself, he sees a guy several yards away that is sitting on the sidewalk next to the building that seems to be talking to himself and randomly yelling out as if he's talking to himself or hearing voices. Now Robert quickly realizes that this guy is not mentally right, but then also remembers that, hey, most of the time these people are just perfectly harmless. They kind of sit there and talk to themselves and yell out, but they never actually hurt anybody. So he just continues his walk up to that strip mall building. But then suddenly this guy jumps up, pulls out a knife and begins charging at Robert. Now Robert was not expecting this attack, so in a moment of panic right before this guy reached him to stab him to death, Robert pulls out his legally carried firearm and shoots at that attacker until he perceived that attacker was down. Now actually Robert fired at that attacker 4 times. The first 2 rounds that he shot at that attacker hit the attacker in center mass, and because Robert was using a good defensive ammo, those rounds actually stayed inside of the attacker. They did not exit that attacker. Now, however, the 3rd round that Robert fired hit the attacker's arm, but because there was not enough mass, because there was not enough meat in his arm, Robert's 3rd round actually went through that attacker's arm. And then Robert's 4th round that he fired barely missed the attacker. It only missed him by inches, but it still missed the attacker. So what ended up happening was Robert's last 2 rounds ended up going into a window at that strip mall. The first round that went through the window barely missed a woman's head as she was inside one of the stores. And then the 4th round also went through a window and struck a middle-aged male in the leg. Now, both of those people lived, and even though the local prosecutor's office and the local police department ruled Robert's shooting as a justified legal self-defense shooting, and they also said, hey, the person that almost got hit and the guy that got hit in the leg was just accident, so no criminal charges are going to be filed. Unfortunately for Robert, that woman and that man are now suing Robert for hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars for pain and anguish, PTSD, loss of sleep, medical bills, just whatever. Folks, stray rounds almost hitting people and or hitting people from self-defense shootings like this is much more common than what the average person realizes. And this is just why I always suggest that people belong to some type of a legal self-defense association. You don't have to join the one that I promote, just join one of them. Now, I personally have firearms legal protection for me and my family because firearms legal protection actually has better protection than what my police union's legal defense fund has. Anyways, I'm going to stick an affiliate link down below. You can check them out if you want to, but let's get back to the video. Now, there's going to be some people that's watching this video that's going to be pounding on their keyboard saying, well, Robert should have taken better aim and been a better shot and put all 4 of his rounds into the bad guy. And folks, if you are one of those people that's pounding that on your keyboard right now, if you are one of the people saying that, then it is obvious that you have never been in a true life or death situation where you actually had to fire your gun to save your life. So you can type all day long about how if you get involved in a self-defense shooting, how you are going to drop that bad guy in 1 or 2 well-placed shots. But what you say you will do and what you will do in real life are 2 different things. Hey folks, big tech does not want me to show you this, so I have to be really careful how I word this. But if you want bang sticks, PSA has them. And then if you need freedom seeds for your bang sticks, PSA also has them. And I will put an affiliate link down below so you can check them out if you want. Now let's get on with the video. So anyways, what happened with our character Robert was that he had to shoot within split seconds in order to save his life, because this attacker was coming at him very quickly with this knife to stab him. And so what happens with most people is, in that kind of a situation where they're within split seconds of dying, they will shoot in a panic. Again, let me repeat that. Most people, when they are within split seconds of dying, they will shoot their firearm in a panic. Well, when you think you're about to die, a lot of people panic. Now, the other thing that we have to keep in mind here with Robert's scenario here, and this scenario is all too common for self-defenders having to defend themselves in a populated area such as a parking lot or around a store or what have you, is that if Robert had taken just that split second, hesitated just that split second to try to realize what the background, the backdrop of that bad guy was, if he had taken just that split second to do that, that bad guy would have reached him and would have sliced and diced him up. And also, Robert hyper focused in on that knife, because it was that knife that was going to kill him. So naturally, our brains and our eyes, we hyper focus on what's going to kill us. The reality is that that strip mall behind that bad guy was not going to kill Robert. That knife in that bad guy's hand was what was going to kill Robert. So Robert hyper focused in on that knife, and everything else became secondary. So now Robert is facing hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars in civil lawsuits, even though the prosecutor's office came out and ruled his shooting as justified. So self-defenders, you need to understand that. Not only do you risk anti-gun prosecutors trying to throw you in prison for the rest of your life for defending yourself, or the dead bad guy's family trying to sue you, you also have to remember that self-defense shootings in highly populated areas like this are all too common, and 2 little rounds like this can cost you hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. So now what would you do if hesitating for even just a second to consider your backdrop would cost you your life, or if repositioning yourself so you wouldn't have that backdrop would cost you your life? What would you do? Comment down below. Would you fire? Or would you not fire and get sliced and diced up? Folks, we just have to realize that most of these deadly force encounters don't allow us to do things to make it that textbook self-defense encounter. And to make yourself a better and more informed gun-carrying self-defender, and to learn what 90% of the gun community out there does not know, then click on the video that should be appearing on the screen just about now to learn that powerful knowledge. Okay folks, this is enough internet for me today. I do need to go train. Folks, if you made it this far, hey, thank you very much for watching, and I pray that you have a good night.